wonderful opportunity, an opportunity to share in a giving of love and spiritual joy. This is opening night, and this is an opportunity for us to demonstrate our interest and support of the African American and people of color art form and musical dance, writing, literary experiences. Again, this is opening night, and this is an opportunity for us to present to you some of the very, very best talent in New York City, where here we are in the midst of the city of the world, the capital of the world, where everything is happening. And in the midst of all of that is happening, here we have opening night. Stay tuned and meet my co-host, the wonderful Claude Jay, who's going to tell you who our special guest is for this evening. So hold on.
Thank you, Mr. Genovis Albright.
Yes.
This evening we are just extremely honored and indeed blessed because we have one of gospel's legends with us today. So you should definitely stay tuned. She's a lady. She's traveled the world singing the good news. Mm-hmm. She has definitely graced the states of the United States. She's been to Japan. She's done a lot of traveling, and she has a story of her own to tell. Mm-hmm. So I'd like you to meet the one and only Mrs. Frances Jackson. Ms. Jackson, thank you and welcome to opening night.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here. It takes me back to the days, of course, of Dr. Robert LaPrince, the unforgettable Dr. Robert LaPrince, who opened so many doors. You think you've done many, many things, but you haven't really done it until you have met Dr. LaPrince. He opened many doors for me, and there were so many new experiences for me after having met him.
Well, he thought an awful lot about you because you continuously were a part of everything that he did, from the Monarch Awards to the Salute to the Arts to the 100 Black Men Affairs to all the events where he could definitely had an opportunity to share you with his guests. Mm-hmm. With gospel music, this gospel music that is so much a part of your life and so much a part of what's going on, what has always been a part of the African American experience. But as we know it, it hasn't always been something that was readily accepted. I want to kind of go back
not really.
To a point when gospel music, in terms of the African American experience, was really, and you were there and you saw it through the stages.
People are always trying to figure out, I think, where it came from, how it got started and so forth. I really think it got started in Africa, because we still do, when you're singing gospel, you still do the moan and you do the groan, mm-hmm. and it came from Africa. The experiences of the black woman and the black man from Africa gave life to what we feel. When we sing a gospel, I always say, don't try to define it. It comes from your soul, mm-hmm. how you feel about it. Mm-hmm. If you've had a bad day, you sort of sing a song like "Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen."
Yes,
Only
yes,
Jesus. It's what's inside the soul mm-hmm. that makes you sing like you sing, and we call it gospel, I suppose, for want of a better word. It's truth.
Yes,
gospel is true.
Because I looked in the dictionary, because I'm always checking what the world, because people go very seldom to the real books, but they will rush quickly to Webster and Reader's Digest and all of that. And I want to see what America or what the world is thinking of the definition. And somehow they are saying that this definition of gospel is, first of all, is related to the 4 books out of the New Testament, which I could accept very mm-hmm. easily. And I believe it was Matthew, John, Luke, and what's the other? Help me out here.
Matthew,
Mark,
Matthew,
yes.
Mark,
and
John,
right. And that gospel is the telling of the truth, and that gospel singers, the good news. But then it gets to gospel singers. Mm-hmm. And it says it originated in the southern part of America, and that it is rooted in jazz. And they left it like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm dying for more information now. Because there are many. I just want to get to this. Jazz parents who had children who sang gospel didn't want their children to do jazz. So how is it that this book, this Reader's Digest and all of this could say gospel is rooted in jazz. I'm just having a small problem with that. Can you help us out, Ms. Jackson?
I'm not absolutely sure what they're trying to say. You said the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Let's remember that these men, each one had his own experience. He told his story his way. So this is where, to me, this is where gospel goes. If you sing Amazing Grace, I can't sing it like you sing it. And the way I sing it, Claude doesn't sing it. But just how you feel at the moment and at that time it comes out, it's still gospel. Whether you sang it, I sang it, or he, doesn't matter if it was his interpretation or mine, it was still gospel.
Well, recently, Claude and I and so many other New Yorkers had the privilege of sitting and witnessing your concert, your annual April concert that is held every
31
years
of singing gospel music at St. Paul Baptist Church, which is our home church. So we had better definitely say that.
Yes.
Dr. Earl B. Moore is the Reverend Dr. Earl B. Moore is the pastor there.
Oh, it was a beautiful service, Ms. Jackson, and I think we need to just take a break and take a little peek at some of that so that the listening audience and the viewing audience can see exactly what we mean when we speak of gospel singing, gospel music.
I still have joy. After all the things I've been through, Lord, I still have joy. I still have joy. I still have joy. After all the things I've been through, Lord, I still have joy. I still have love. I still have love. After all the things I've been through, yeah, I still have love. I still have love. I still have love. After all the things I've been through, Lord, I still have
Joy.
Ms. Jackson, after I've been to so many concerts and I've had the wonderful, blessed opportunity to sit and listen to you at service on Sunday morning at St. Paul, how is it after all these years? I know that's a theme with your concerts, that you still are able to have joy. Or why is that? Why was that a theme this year?
I listened several times to Dorothy McLeod singing this, and I thought about the experiences, how long it had been.
Norwood?
Dorothy Norwood. And how long it had been and how the Lord had blessed me for 31 long years. And I said, I still have joy. And I look at my children who've grown up, and since that time I've had grands, and I still have joy. With whatever happens, there is something wonderful. For instance, my granddaughter's in college now. So I still have joy, despite all the other things that have happened. This has been a marvelous experience.
And Lord knows we need that now, more joy
and there's a statement you made in your...
I lost, in the 80s, many friends, many close friends. And then my mother, and then my brother, and on it goes. But life goes on. And despite all of this, God, I look at the other side of the songwriter says, my good days still outweigh my bad days.
All right.
So I won't complain.
There you go.
I just have joy.
All right.
Just have joy. And I think for every time you say thank you, he blesses you over and over again.
Now,
so
see,
I
that's
said,
a,
I
that's
want to come on singing that and go off singing that, and I want somebody to believe it.
Well, we've just
Yes,
you left us all there.
If we could have rolled in the aisles, we would have. Ms. Jackson, the question is, what is, it's a question that some people have got going around when you ask, what is grace? What is the blessed assurance? These great gospel songs, what are the motivants to sing them and the way that you sing them so emotionally, so beautifully? Is it that you lock onto these definitions or what exactly? What is it?
In my life, I would say that I do. I was a grandmother's child.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was blind. She was a fat lady, and she was blind, so she couldn't get out of her chair. And she had been a missionary when I was. And I loved this fat lady, and I would always go to her, you know, put my hands on her. And she would say to me, take the hymn book and turn to page whatever, 90 or 100 or whatever. She said, now this is the tune, and she would sing it. And so as a result, all those old hymns, that's where I got them from. I know them because I got them from her. And I said, she's so wonderful. My mother was so wonderful. All of this has to be good.
Yes.
And as I live, you know, some of the these experiences have been mine. I know.
You have to know it
She
for
said,
yourself.
as I live, though. That's what's so important.
Yeah, this is my story, what I've lived.
Yes.
And I know that it's real.
Yes.
I know it's real. So when I get up to sing, sometimes in my house I have my own concert. I just sing it. It just comes. It just comes out. Whatever's in comes out. Because sometimes, you know, you've gone to work, you come home, and you had a good day, and you say it was good.
Yes,
It's good. I say that to my daughter sometimes. Oh, what a good day this is.
Oh, yes.
You have and there's a song for everything you feel.
Keep a song in your heart.
That's why I
Yes.
tell people it's the way you feel. For instance, when I watch you sing, when you get up to sing, you begin to get into, like, talk to the master before. It's like you're saying, well, Lord, help me to do this.
Yes.
And just the way you feel, you begin to sing. And Genovis, when he goes to the instrument, I notice he does this first. And I said, he's getting it together now.
She's observing a lot here.
He's getting it
it's
together
true.
now. How you feeling?
You gotta
That's
let
how
the
it
feeling
comes
come
out,
through, right? Yes,
like
yes.
Aretha, they call her the queen of soul. They don't know how else to describe her.
Right.
But this
they
girl
haven't
goes
touched
into
it
her
yet.
own world.
Yes,
When
she
she opens
does.
them out, she starts. It's just how you feel.
Well, I heard you introduced at your concert as the Queen of Gospel. That's what
The legendary
Yes,
and such a lady, such a profile of commitment you are, Mrs.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
that
you.
when we think of your experiences here with opening night and the National Council for Culture and Art, and in its redeveloping stage that we are now trying to organize it as, you have been the ultimate profile of commitment, and let's go do it. And it's just a pleasure for me, and I'm certain for Claude, that we would have you on this show and to tributize you, Miss Jackson, because you're a very special lady, and you are a lady.
Oh, thank
definitely,
you.
most
Thank
definitely.
You know,
Very
and I
much.
think our kids need to, that story you
And I
tell.
keep telling the children, it's
Yes,
more
please.
about, and older people too,
Yes.
it's more about singing and shouting.
Mhm.
It's about telling somebody that God is real and that they're somebody. Everybody is a somebody. God made everybody a somebody.
Is there
And
any
you can
particular way-
really be
with these days, with kids being so far away from what they see the church, what
Yes,
the church
yes, yes.
is,
Mhm.
how do you think that we possibly could?
Have we
reach
failed?
kids?
Have we?
Well,
that's
we
another
tried.
question.
That's another question.
And
I've
I know
made them
I've
real.
tried. That, you know, and you know what? There's something special in the children now. I don't think they are completely out of it, but they don't know how to express themselves yet. For instance, I have been working at the Frederick Douglass Academy since the first of the year, because Dr. Monroe, the principal there, who used to teach my children, asked me to come over. She said, these children want to sing gospel. It's something inside of them. We're going to have to pull it out or show them, like the storytelling the young lady was doing on one of your shows. I think if more of this was done in our schools, they would understand better. And the reason I'm saying, pointing out Frederick Douglass, I went to work with the children with gospel. And sometimes I would go into the room and I didn't even have to bother, because these kids are so full of, they don't know what it is, but it's coming out. I had one young lady in the classroom, every time I would go in and I'd say, well, how are you today? She would say, even me, Lord. She was just into it. And she couldn't explain this to me, but she's into something.
Yes.
And she tells me she doesn't even go to church. She says, my grandmother is of another persuasion, one that I don't attend, don't like. I'm of another persuasion, and she doesn't allow me to go there, But I sing my songs anyway.
All right.
And they sing songs that, you would expect the children to sing things like joy. No, but they're singing things that are very deep. Lord, I hear showers of blessing. Even me. It's
right.
there, but we have to
Yes.
first we're gonna have to live it.
That's
have
right.
to
Live it.
We have
That's
to
not because
live it.
the youth in the
looking for
understanding of performing this particular type of music. I remember when we were perhaps studying classical music.
Right.
The idea was to be able to express yourself on the way you hit that note.
Yes,
Right,
do it
right.
from-
That because you didn't necessarily have to understand it because you
Or
couldn't
have
speak the
all-
language,
yes.
But it was the way you express yourself. But gospel is
The
there.
emotion, the feeling, the real experience.
And there's an opportunity to, as you said on your concert, live and learn, and out of that express that through this music. And this is a very powerful music, Ms.
It is,
Jackson.
it is.
And I think our kids need to know more about
Absolutely.
it. But it seems somehow the masses here are, because we can't teach it in schools. I mean, in our teaching situations, we can't mention God, We have so many different persuasions, but we can still teach spirituality in a sense, I guess. If I'm not fired for saying that, I'm not sure. But how can we reach the kids? I mean, a lot of the new music seems so, I want to do the boogaloo. That tells you what period I'm from. But
What was the boogaloo?
where was it? Okay, let's bring it up, the Running Man. But I mean,
If we continue singing it every chance we get,
Yeah.
talk
yes.
to them about it, keep it in front.
Keep
of
it in
them,
front of them.
and
You- They will.
take it from there. Eventually, it'll. There's a hymn that says, "Someday it'll make it plain to me. Someday it'll become plain to them." Because there was much I didn't understand for years and years, but I do now.
But when you didn't understand and you sang this music, what was that made you want to sing this music?
I went to a private school in Washington, and the music department wanted us, to be proper, prim and proper. But on Sundays, we would go to chapel. We called it chapel. And there was another music teacher who would always play and sing "His Eye is on the Sparrow."
Which is
And when this lady played and sang this, even if she didn't sing, she played it. Something just happened to me. There was something I
All
couldn't,
right, something
couldn't
happened.
explain what it was. And I said, when I leave here, I'm going to sing what
oh, that's beautiful.
I'm going to sing what I want to sing. That's something that makes me feel good.
Yes.
Like in another song, they say, "All that I know, that there's something within." That's the only way you can explain it. It's on the inside. It's been called soul. It's been called all kinds of things, but it's a certain something.
You've also had some experience. I know you've sung with the Clara Ward Singers in your career in terms of taking gospel music to a career, and that was the beginning. I mean, when people taking gospel on the stage, was that really accepted? How did people respond to?
People,
Well, yeah.
it was exciting
Mm-hmm.
to non-church goers. It was exciting. It was all excitement. And then I think people got the idea and said, wait a minute, this isn't excitement. This is something else.
Right. Oh,
This
okay.
is the good thing.
This
the
is
real
really
thing.
great.
This is
It's
not
really-
So
just
they weren't just. It wasn't just an
They
act.
were
Right.
they
It was just wasn't the
overwhelmed.
purple and the green rose jumping up and down.
Yes.
It was more than that because we would do like 2 or 3 numbers, excite the people. Suddenly, Clara would calm us down, and she would play something like "The Day Is Past and Gone" or "There Is a Fountain." You could hear a pin falling, and people just couldn't explain it. They would tell you, say, I like that. They would say, I like
What
it.
a
Was all
great-
good,
it's
but
so
I like
great.
that.
I wish the kids could have
a
experience,
deal, you
because
know?
I remember seeing the Ward Singers as a child. The hair and
Yes. Oh, it was some experience. You had to get those
it was
people's attention.
incredible. I'm just
And her
so
first hit
happy
was-
that I
her
was
first
able.
hit was "Surely God Is Able."
Oh, I remember that song. This is dating me, but hey,
People would
so what?
Begin
It's
to
beautiful.
listen to the words. The churches didn't want it because at that time it was a little too exciting for them.
It was too exciting for the church.
When I went to the church that I belong to now, they didn't have gospel singing in there. And when there was a gospel choir developed, they had to sing before the 11 o'clock service on Sunday.
Right.
They
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
sing in the service.
And we're talking about the St. Paul Baptist
That's
Church,
right. That's
where we
right.
belong. There's plenty gospel music going on
Going
there
on there now.
Right.
Oh, thank God for the
Suddenly people
changes.
begin to say, wait a minute, there's a message there. This is something to this. And it drew the people. It's like a magnet, you know. It's like a magnet. And,
The contemporary gospel. Do you think that's
It
there's a
doesn't move
place-
me.
It doesn't.
I say I
okay.
call
There's
it
a
new,
place for
the
me.
new music.
the new music.
Because there's a song, I don't want to pick on anyone, but there was a song that the Winans sang once that didn't even have Jesus in it,
In it.
or the mentioning of God, but yet it reached the crowd. So I said,
Yes.
okay, so maybe
There's
what
a
it's
place for
doing,
it.
It's
that there's a
for
place.
all of
Right.
it. Yes.
But I
I
love
don't
what
doubt.
you do.
I don't doubt that there's a place for all of this.
Yes.
Miss
Yes,
Jackson
yes.
keeps a tradition
yeah.
alive and then does it in such a way that it
Yeah.
sounds fresh and new. So I think that maybe if the kids were to have a mixture of both and not
Yes,
so much,
they
let's
need
just
both.
go all the way
it's
out
part of
there.
our history, our
It is
tradition
our
that we
history,
have
our
to keep.
tradition. We must.
But
It is.
But we must continue to grow too. with it.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I think
We should have
send
another song.
selection.
Yes. Okay.
And the hills are hard to climb. One day I started out a long time ago.
just wonderful. We were all blessed. I'm telling you, we were truly blessed that afternoon. And that's a concert that you have been, the ushers at St. Paul have been presenting you in for 31 years. That's a blessing in itself.
And
I
what
mean,
is
having
it
people to
to
support,
support you for
And I'm
31
grateful.
years.
If you can imagine people,
Because-
people supporting you for that long.
And your house
I'm
was
just
very
grateful.
large, full
I'm
house,
Just grateful.
Oh, yes.
and the word is it's
All the nice people like yourself. Genovis Albright,
oh
instrumentalist,
well oh
and Claude Jay, the vocalist.
oh
thank you,
Lord,
thank
Lord,
you.
Lord.
Dr. LaPrince is still somewhere praying for us.
Oh,
For
yes.
in the midst of us all.
And we will
Yeah.
do something good, keep
Yes.
it going.
And because now we are all on this board for the National
Yes.
Council, so I guess this is an appropriate time to announce the Salute to the Arts, which is coming up.
Exactly.
Claude, why don't you do that and
Okay,
let the people
which we're
know.
actually on Sunday, May the 21st at 3:30 p.m. at the St. Paul Baptist Church at 249 West 132nd Street. We will have the 15th annual, I think, Salute to the Arts, which the guest speaker will be the Reverend Dr. Otis Stallings, the Executive Minister of the American Baptist. And Genovis Albright will be singing, as well as our
Francis
legendary
Jackson.
guest, Mrs. Francis Jackson.
And so will
And-
Claude Jay.
And I will
Claude
certainly
Jay.
be happy to sing a selection. And many other artists.
And we will have children
Yes.
performing, and
Most
it is an experience
Something
once
wonderful.
again to celebrate.
A celebration of a king and a salute, a
To a
tribute to a
prince.
prince. La
And
Prince.
that's Robert
Fabulous.
LaPrince.
Fabulous.
And Miss Jackson,
This is
this is what it's about. But now we must
Exactly.
get back to Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson, what
We're-
was? Are we running
Yeah,
out?
we're getting ready to wind up. So
Oh no, I
we
have
better
so many
thank you
questions.
for joining us.
Oh
You
well,
see,
oh
we'll have to
let's
have
see.
you back. Thank you so much for joining
my
us.
pleasure.
Uncle
This
There's
is
Thea.
never enough time.
It was my pleasure.
Okay, well maybe we get a kiss on camera.
My pleasure.
You're a wonderful lady, and we certainly appreciate your friendship and the blessing that you've been to us.
Is there anything you would say to the children as we're leaving, Miss Jackson?
Listen and listen and listen. Just listen and listen and listen. There's really not a gap if you talk to them. And if they just listen, things are going to be fine because they're so gifted
Kids
and
are-
talented
yes.
now.
And you work, the kids
Just
you work
listen.
with, yes.
They have much to give back to us, offer us, if we listen as well.
Because there is
We're going to
gospel
be
in
listening,
there.
and we want you kids to listen to us.
Yes, yes. Are we going to have a little traveling music as we're leaving?